I'm Katie Steiner. Thanks so much for joining us tonight here on KHQ Local News. But let's get right to the story that everyone's talking about, Hoop Fest 2014 in Spokane. Now we have team coverage for you, the big sports weekend. Sam Adams is joining us live from the Hoop Fest courts in downtown. He talked to current Gonzaga basketball players who are out playing today. And Allison Flicker was out there as well, and she talked to athletes who refuse to let their wheelchairs stand in the way of playing the game they love. And Gabe Cohen has more on the athletes getting ready for the Ironman race. But let's start tonight with Sam Adams. Those Gonzaga players must have felt right at home in downtown Spokane, Sam. All right, thanks so much, Sam. Now, there were athletes of all ages and all abilities at Hoop Fest today. Here's a group of young kids that we got to see playing in Hoop Fest, and it's so much fun to see those little ones have such a blast there out on the court. We also got a chance to catch up with some players who won't let their disabilities stand in their way. KHQ Local News reporter Allison Flicker joins us live right now from downtown Spokane. Now, Allison, these athletes that you talked to are so inspiring because a lot of people are wondering for that Ironman if they're going to be out there competing, or for Hoop Fest, are they going to have to deal with rain? Will they get sunshine? And Dave, you have all the answers. Thanks so much, Dave. Well, now we're talking social media. A lot of people are talking about Hoop Fest on Twitter, so we wanted to share some of these tweets with you. Ben says, let's go 2-0, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We coming. Hashtag why not us? Hashtag Hoop Fest 25. And this is a picture I want to show you. Boy, Mom, all of this Hoop Fest 25 makes me sleepy. You can see that little guy there taking a nap on his mom's shoulder. I thought that was really cute. A crime tracker alert for you out of Grant County now. Deputies are trying to track down a person they think fired a gun in Moses Lake. The shooting happened around 1 this morning on Travis Drive near Bong Loop and Daly Drive. At least 3 cars have bullet holes in them, but police don't think that anyone was hit. A witness saw one person running away and a car drive off in the same area. Witnesses say that the car is a dark-colored Honda or Subaru, and deputies think that the car leaving the scene may have also been hit by the gunfire. Now, if you know anything about this, please contact the Grant County Sheriff's Office. That number is on your screen, 509-762-1160. Take a look at your screen right now. This is Timothy Allen, and the North Idaho Violent Crimes Task Force needs your help finding him. Police say he shot someone last week in Worley, Idaho. Allen has a history of aggravated battery with a weapon and eluding law enforcement. A reward may be available for anyone with information leading to his arrest. A crime tracker alert for you out of Grant County. A man from Quincy quickly learned it's hard to outrun the police. Deputies say that Joe Yancey of Quincy, Washington was driving on State Route 17 when part of his trailer load started falling out on the road. Now, part of that load was a sink and it hit another car on the highway. And deputies caught up with him and they say he wouldn't pull over. A high-speed chase lasted about 3 minutes before Yancey jumped out of the car and made a run for it. Deputies picked him up at Connolly Park. And there's probably a reason Yancey didn't want to talk to the police. He had an outstanding warrant for failure to appeal, driving with a suspended license, DUI, suspicion of felony eluding, and possession of a stolen car. More than 50 volunteers helped move 2 tons of rock by hand in the Ellensburg area. They were helping a disabled Vietnam veteran who owns a mine there. A debris slide covered the entrance 4 years ago, and the Vietnam vet has been trying to get permission from the federal agency to use an excavator. Until the Forest Service approves the plan, he can't use machines at the site because there are protections in place to help the spotted owl and the steelhead. San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge might look a little different in the next couple of years. The bridge will now have suicide prevention nets. The nets will cost $76 million and will take at least 3 years to fully install all of the steel cable nets. Advocates say that the money is worth it since 1,600 people have committed suicide jumping off of the bridge. Mexican authorities arrested 83 people they suspected for having unregistered weapons. Mexican news stations show soldiers arresting the men and taking their guns. Now, the vigilantes are fighting drug cartels, which have been known for kidnapping, murder, and extortion in the area. The Mexican government requires that all vigilantes' weapons must be registered. It's new at 11. People in the area of North Stevens Street and West Jackson Avenue had to evacuate because of a natural gas leak this afternoon. It happened around 5 p.m. today. Now, people in the area smelled gas and called the police, and the Spokane Police Department say it was caused by a trencher, most likely someone who was digging in the ground to lay some kind of electrical wire. Well, today was a really busy day in Spokane. Seems like half of the town was out and about in downtown. KHQ's Allison Flicker was one of the many people out at Hoop Fest all day long, and she got a chance to talk to a lot of different teams that were competing in Hoop Fest this year, including a team of people competing in wheelchairs. Allison? Crime tracker alert from across the state. A live grenade was found in the refrigerator during a drug bust in Puyallup. 26-year-old Joshua Laubin warned the officers that he had a grenade in the fridge. They also found an MP5 submachine gun. The selector of that switch was set to full auto. Police also found heroin and meth in his house, along with other drugs, and $13,000 in cash. Police say a man found a bag of THC candy on the road in Fairbanks, Alaska. He turned it into the police right away because he was worried a child might find it. Now, this raises concerns about how to keep marijuana out of the hands of kids, since it comes in many different forms, including candy and baked goods. Now that marijuana is legal in Colorado and here in Washington, people are trying to figure out how to keep the legal edible THC goods away from children. Well, violence in Iraq continues. American drones and jets have begun operation in Iraq, but they're not authorized to engage with insurgents. The fighting is outside Baghdad and the cities of Mosul and Tikrit. The Iraqi military is trying to use helicopter strikes against the Sunni insurgents, and American military advisors are in Iraq to work with the Iraqi military. The terrorist group ISIS is still making its way through northern and western Iraq. Hundreds gathered in Austria and Serbia today for the 100th anniversary of the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. That shooting was the last straw that started World War I, and people in Austria and Serbia talked about lessons we should all take from that war. It was launched fine, but its parachute didn't fully deploy, so the next test on the new technology will be in 2015.
That's tough when the parachute doesn't deploy.
I know, it's like, oh, shut
That
up.
always backfires.
I hate that when that happens.
It does. Goodness gracious.
You sound like you have some serious experience in these matters.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll tell you what, something that is going to continue to rise is our temperatures as we head on in through this week, peaking out probably on Wednesday at 90 degrees and then settling down into the 80s. So overall, you can't beat it. And it looks like primarily dry conditions for the last day of Hoop Fest and the Ironman competition.
Big day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Big day.
Huge day.
I really hope that if you're doing Ironman, you're not up right now.
You should be
because
sleeping.
You should be sleeping.
We talked to people too. They got to wake up at like 3 to eat, then to go back to bed, and then start stretching. And early morning tomorrow.
I mean, God bless those people, but I could never do it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think you could do it?
No.
Okay,
That's why they're Ironman.
We'll see you at a live show tomorrow morning at 7.
Yeah.